I think in that discussion we just had a few minutes ago about how in the city, when the project is presented, and even just for a feasibility idea, the people come there and then they're just looking at it and then they're like, yeah, this is what is gonna come, and so, but that image that is being shown is a representation of a reality that might be put out there, right?
Yes.
So how do you look at that that production of that kind of reality? Like, do you think, because I feel like is the diagram a mind is equal to blown kind of a moment thing? Like, I revealed my diagram and everyone who was seeing this feasibility study happen, or things like that. When I actually in that presentation also revealed the diagram, there was a mind is equal to blown moment. Everyone was on board, and then they, said, let's do this. They told us about this thing. I think there is that image also kind of carries a weight somewhere or something.
There's a kind of confrontation
Yeah.
between the viewer and the narrative within the image. To them,
Yeah.
both are real, right?
Yeah.
There is this.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
no.
Yeah. No, go ahead. That's the basic question. How do you understand the reality of the situation that is presented there, and how do you look at that?
Yeah, I would say 2 points. Let me write in here that I'm going to talk about 2 points because I'm going to get lost.
Okay. No, that's great.
Yes, I recognize Libny again now.
And then, yes. So I'm going to talk about Enscape, and I'm going to talk about this connection. Yes. Yeah. So, for example, in this project, the particular feasibility museum proposal, I use Grasshopper, and then I produced these sort of bridges, towers super fast, and then we did some options, and I could like tweak stuff, and then we decided, no, it looks too thick, too blah, blah, blah. And then boom, Enscape, print screen, and that's it.
Okay.
The thing is, Enscape then looks quite realistic. The bridge that I modeled had glass frames, rails, like it was really detailed. But so maybe it was part of our fault that we represented it too realistic. And then people just think this is the thing. It's not like an idea. So we should have show it more schematic, maybe.
Abstract or whatever.
Yeah. But then if we would have gone maybe even further and we would have provided a web page with a VR thing, people would have bought this project because it's awesome. Like you go into this bridge, you get a view of the whole city. You understand the potentials of this project. Or a friend was telling me in UN Studio, they have, when they're doing competitions like concepts, they try to model as realistic as possible, like as detailed as possible. And they have these master builders next to them, to the teams. And they show these sketches, and then the master builder says, oh, yes, no, this is not possible as a construction detail. Maybe you should do it like this. So on purpose, they present highly
resolved,
even if it is a concept stage, because somehow they have learned that makes the project more believable. Is a funky shape, but we know it can be built, so the client feels safer. So I guess that's then the deal. Like, if you can build really fast these models, you show them to the public, you create some sort of a trust with them. That's the second point. But then you should be able to explain that it's a concept. But yes, but it's right. People will always come first from the image, If they feel an attachment, they feel an interest, then they will start asking more questions about it.
Yeah.
And then finally you can show the diagram. But if you reveal the diagram as the reason for your project, then it's really hard to convince people, because it's just too hard to see a diagram.
It's
that
a
is so
story
abstract.
without characters, right?
Yeah. It's like, and also it's like, it feels like you are like forcing people to eat something. It's like, this is it. Like, this is the truth, and you have to accept it.
Yeah, and you're going to get the flavor in your burp after you eat it.
Yeah, which...
Disgusting.
Yeah, I'm getting super conceptual now.
Yeah.
Which happened to the Yokohama project. Like, that's the classic story where they started in the press conferences explaining the diagrams, and like nobody was understanding anything. And suddenly it's like, oh, it looks like a wave. Yay! Suddenly there was an image that they could relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that was also a lesson that we could learn from that project. Like, you first start with this is the project, this is how it looks. Do you feel engaged with it? Okay, then let me tell you more about it.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the movies that start with the killing in the first scene, and then you want to know what happened, like why this person was killed.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I touched a bit on the word trust, and in this context, in the Swedish context, trust is such a crazy important word. Like linking it, for example, to the Corona crisis.
Right.
It's all about trust, and if the government says, the government in this case is the guy in charge of the Ministry of
Health and well-being.
Health, and if he says this is what we need to do, then here we, the citizens, we trust, because we put this guy there because he's capable. So if he's saying it, then let's trust what he says. And that's how it's been working. And it's always been about like recommendations and never about like laws. So it's all been based on this. And then the rating of trust here from citizens to the government is super high. It's like above 80%.
Okay.
So there are no anti-corona protests.
There is some exceptions in the capital, but
okay.
Those rebels.
Avant-garde, huh?
It's very few. But yeah, but the here. Because sorry, I thought about when you say like you reveal the diagram or not, or you bring people, and it's always then about creating this trust to people. Like then they trust what you're saying, and yes, sorry, no. So maybe sometimes it's not needed to show the diagram, but it's sort of like we as designers should be. We should provide this if necessary. Like it's gonna be there. If somebody needs to read it, to access it, it's there and it's available. And probably if we publish the project, we include the diagrams, but maybe we don't insist on this is the diagram, but we talk more about the final result. But it's about trust. Sorry, because it's this thing here also in the office. It reflects, this Swedish trust reflects in our own office. Like, I don't know, like open servers. Like I can access any project of any other office, like everything, even the budget, contracts. Like I can read anything. Do I do it? Do I go to all the folders and try to check? No, but I know it's there.
Right.
And then this sense of trust, like I could go and read it, but do I need to? No. And it's very important too. As an idea of democracy, the idea of transparency, that everything is available if you need or you are interested in it. It's of course it's accessible, but do I need to show you everything?
Or do you need to study everything?
Yeah, like I don't need to
server, like
stuff your face with information. But if it is available, I think it's something we as designers should provide. Like we shouldn't hide this kind of information.